How was Communist Yugoslavia established? In 1945, Tito and the Communists had won against the ultranationalist Croatian Ustashe and Serbian Chetniks for control of the country. It had led a multi-ethnic coalition which sought equality between all groups and now had to govern in a way that respected them. Yugoslavia's new leaders, the League of Communists, believed that their victory in the Second World War was a socialist one in which the working class had risen up and defeated the Axis powers and their collaborators. To them, the war was a founding point of their communist revolution, emphasized through education, propaganda, and public monuments. The government highlighted the war and the sacrifices made to create Communist Yugoslavia, focusing on the dead like the fallen fighters and the victims of fascism, excluding all non-communists. This policy offered social services like housing or scholarships to families of the dead, and unified the state behind a common story. Alternative interpretations of the war were strictly suppressed. They also promoted brotherhood and unity, portraying the Yugoslav people as family and equal to one another. This acknowledged the country's multi-ethnicity while also promoting unity, trying to avoid future inter-ethnic violence. In 1946, the new Yugoslavia drafted a constitution, creating a federation with republics based on ethnic homelands like Croatia and Serbia. Bosnia and Herzegovina was recognized as a unified republic of Serbs, Croats, and others, excluding Muslims, considered a religious group rather than an ethnic one. Republics also granted equal rights to minorities who were sovereign members of their state. For example, a Serb living in Croatia was inherently connected to the Socialist Republic of Serbia. Autonomous zones were also created, giving autonomy to the various minorities of Vojvodina, notably Hungarians and the large Albanian ethnic population of Kosovo. The constitution emphasized equality among all republics, nations, and ethnic groups, highlighting the equal contribution of all during the war. This dynamic worked for decades, generally avoiding conflict among the Yugoslav people and allowing the government to cement its authority. In 1947, the League of Communists banned all non-communist parties and eliminated much of the remnants of the Chetniks and Ustashe, putting major leaders on trial. Tito's government also supported the communists in the Greek Civil War, but this brought problems with the USSR. Stalin wanted to avoid tensions with the West. Tito disagreed and only stopped supporting the Greek communists after the US promised Yugoslavia economic credits. Stalin was unhappy. He wanted obedience from all communist states in Europe, while Tito wanted all communists to be equal. In 1948, he declared total Yugoslav independence, rejecting outside control. As a response, Stalin began working on a way to depose Tito. He rallied the Cominform from all communist parties in the world, accusing Yugoslavia of being anti-communist, also cutting off all economic ties with the country. Stalin hoped Yugoslav Cominformists who preferred the USSR would stage a coup, but Tito reacted aggressively, ordering mass arrest of over 50,000 people, many of them innocent, putting them in prison camps. Ultimately, no coup was ever successful. Stalin had underestimated Tito's support and authority. The USSR began amassing troops near the Yugoslav border, but backed down after Tito appealed to the USA, which promised protection. Yugoslavia now pursued its own path, not as another Soviet satellite, but as its own country with influence and goals. Tito wanted to differentiate the Yugoslav communist movement from the Soviet one, and to do so, he would change key parts of the Yugoslav system, including its economic policies and international relations, forming an important bond with the United States and the West.